President of the United States of America indicated that he had a mandate. I, with a degree of spontaneity, Mr. Speaker, right over there, second seat from the aisle, collected my portable items, about to make my departure, reverse up to the doors and make my exit as a means of protesting what the president was saying. But Mr. Speaker, as I did this, I became overwhelmed with just the notion that something was going to happen very ugly, and it would be something that would hurt people who are on Medicaid and Medicare. And I also brought up Social Security when I spoke, but these are the things that I was overwhelmed with. And as a result of being overwhelmed and understanding what was about to happen, knowing that the committee with jurisdiction over Medicaid had a mandate to cut more than $800 billion. Overwhelmed, Mr. Speaker, I did rise to my feet, and I did say to the president, you have no mandate to cut Medicaid. My colleagues across the aisle became very rambunctious and decided that what I was saying did not merit being heard, so they performed very loudly. I'm not angry with them. They performed loudly. And I wanted to make sure the president heard my statement. And I repeated myself and added Medicare and Social Security. My colleagues continued. I continued. I was evicted, and I was later on censured. Censured but not silenced. Yes, I stand today where I stood then. Censured but not silenced. I stand today where I stood then. It is best captured. Would you please bring the stand over, please, someone? It is best captured in this photo that depicts what occurred. Censured, not silenced. So I stand today where I stood then. And I stand today where I stood then because there is a CR that has been brought before this House. And if I had voted for that CR, I would legitimize what I stood against. I refuse to legitimize what I stood against when I said you don't have a mandate to cut Medicaid, Medicare, and I introduced Social Security into the equation. That's what this was about for me today. The question was whether I would stand where I stood then or whether I would now agree that what was done then is something that I condone now. I condemned what happened then. My mind has not changed. The people who will suffer will still suffer. Why would I now decide that I'm going to bless, if you will, condone a CR that continues what happened when my Republican colleagues did what they thought was right, I assume, and passed the legislation without the help of Democrats? Well, if you can pass the initial legislation without the help of Democrats, why do you want me to join in your CR? Pass this without my help. Censured, but not silent.
All right, fam. In this clip, it's Rep. Al Green speaking on the House floor. Nobody is questioning him. It's basically him pouring his heart out. He says he refuses to change his position. He stood against healthcare cuts before, and he stands there now. He calls the proposed bill the largest cut to Medicaid in history, $536 billion. He points out how this would raise premiums, co-pays, and deductibles, making it harder for everyday Americans to afford care. He warns about hospitals and community health centers being forced to close if this goes through. And he declares himself a liberated Democrat, unbought, unbossed, unafraid, censured, but not silenced. His bottom line? Healthcare shouldn't become welfare for the wealthy. It should protect ordinary people. Meaning, He's standing firm against healthcare cuts that, in his view, would mainly benefit the rich while hurting vulnerable Americans. Wow. Rep. Al Green came in swinging with some serious energy. You can hear the frustration, the passion, and honestly, the defiance. When he said censured but not silenced, I felt that. I'm surprised at how blunt he was, calling out not just policy, but also the idea that healthcare cuts are basically lining the pockets of the wealthy. That's strong language for the House floor. And honestly, whether you agree with his politics or not, you gotta respect that level of conviction. Dude is not backing down. And can we just pause on the phrase unbought, unbossed, unafraid? That sounds like a campaign slogan. Somebody put that on a t-shirt. Here's my takeaway. Politics aside, Al Green is raising a point worth thinking about. If you live long enough, you'll probably need healthcare support. Cuts to Medicaid or Medicare don't just affect other people. They could affect you, me, your parents, your grandparents. So, before brushing this off as just another political fight, maybe take a moment to ask, how would this actually impact families and communities in real life? That's where the real debate needs to happen. All right, shock filler fam, what do you think? Was Rep. Al Green being heroic by holding his ground, or was he going too far with his protest? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, I'll be reading. And hey, if you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button, smash subscribe, and join me right here on my Shock Filer for more passionate reactions and real talk on politics and beyond.
That are terse but very much substantive in terms of what this appeal is all about. The style of it is, what are the elements of the Republican healthcare crisis? And there is a healthcare crisis. And the Democratic Party has passed this on to me. I want to give them full credit for it. I'm going to adopt it as my own, but I did not produce it. Says here, this is a part of the crisis. Slashing Medicaid with the largest cut in history. Well, I said that. I'm repeating myself. Some things bear repeating. Slashing Medicaid with the largest cut in history. I can't condone that. If I had voted for this CR, that's what I'd be doing. You passed it without my help before. Why would you expect me to support it now? I want to change that. I'm not a status quo politician. Next point. Dramatically raises premiums, co-pays, and deductibles for tens of millions of Americans. There are people who are living on the margins, barely capable of affording health care, and this legislation is going to make it impossible for some of them to afford health care. These premiums and co-pays and deductibles are going to go up for a good many people who can't afford them. We're trying to change that. Or I am. I support this. Goes on to say, forcing hospitals and community health centers across the nation to close. That is no joke. People are starting to see it. They're starting to express their consternation. They're starting to let the people know that somehow this must not happen. They want to change it. If they want to change it, why would I vote to continue it? I refuse to change my position. I stand now where I stood then. Goes on to indicate setting in motion $536 billion in cuts to Medicaid. $536 billion in cuts to Medicaid. Mr. Speaker, that sums it up. That sums it up. I stand now where I stood then. I am a liberated Democrat, unbought, unbossed, unafraid.
All right, y'all. So this clip is Rep. Al Green speaking on the House floor. No back and forth here, just him delivering a powerful speech. He recalls a moment when the president claimed he had a mandate to cut Medicaid. Green says he couldn't stay quiet. He stood up, shouted, "You have no mandate to cut Medicaid," and kept going even when colleagues tried to drown him out. He got evicted and censured for it, but his message is clear. Censured, but not silenced. His bottom line, cuts to Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security would hurt millions, especially seniors, and he refuses to back down. The big takeaway? He's standing firm for healthcare protections, no matter the political pressure. Man, listen, Al Green came with fire. You can feel the passion. Most speeches in Congress sound robotic, but here, he's basically saying, "Kick me out if you want. I'm not shutting up." That's bold, and I love that line. Censured, but not silenced. That's the kind of energy that sticks. I'm honestly surprised more members don't go this raw, because this hits different. Look, healthcare is complicated, but Rep. Green makes one thing crystal clear. If you live long enough, you're going to need it. Whether or not you agree with his politics, it's worth thinking about how these cuts could hit everyday families, not just numbers on a budget sheet. So what do you think? Was Al Green heroic for standing up? Or should he have played it cool? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear from you. And hey, if you're vibing with these breakdowns, hit like, smash that subscribe button, and stay tuned right here on my Shock Filer for more powerful reactions and real talk.